Hey everyone, welcome to the 28th episode of the Brothers of Broad Street podcast. I'm here with Bryce Ellig. My name's Jim Croger, and this is an emergency podcast. We actually had to just come on tonight and do this because that game was so bad today that we couldn't wait till tomorrow night. So we just had to come on for the fans and give you guys an update on what we're feeling right now. Bryce, your initial reaction after today's loss to the Giants?
We're people's pod, we get it out quick. We got to, get our thoughts out quick. I mean, plain and simple, right when they, pull me in, it's just right out. Like it's the same thing we talked about last week. That was the first time they've brought me back into the season since week one. And right when I get brought back in, they just prove to me why I just shouldn't even invest my time in watching them. I mean, I can willingly say that there was not one single positive bright spot of this game. Not a single player played well. I would have said Boston Scott had a good game until he fumbled at the end, but no one played well. The coaching was terrible. I think not having Jordan Howard is just the team has no chance without Jordan Howard, which is sad that we can't. Even not beating the Giants played so bad as well, but we couldn't find a way to beat them, and they made mistake after mistake, missed a field goal, and the Eagles couldn't get it done. And I have been bought out of Jalen Hurts. So I'm not, I'm happy last week I didn't get too crazy and buy back in. Jimmy knows this, but officially bought out on Jalen Hurts. He's a running back. He's just a running back that plays quarterback. There's no denying it at this point. It's been like 3 or 4 straight weeks where he's gone into the fourth quarter with 90 yards. And Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, just playoff, just winning quarterbacks, just people that win games, just get have above 8 wins in a season. They don't go into fourth quarters with 90 yards. I could talk about the interceptions, the underthrown balls, but the issue is that when it comes to a pass over 40 yards, you don't know where it's going for Jalen Hurts, and most of the time it's short. Obviously, we can get into Rager, but honestly, I don't see much to get into. We knew what he was coming into this game, and I'm not surprised by his performance. He's not a good wide receiver. We can go on and on about, how we could have picked Justin Jefferson, but we didn't, and we have to deal with it. Jalen Rager's probably going to be on this team. I know everyone's saying, "Oh, we got to cut him, we got to get rid of him." He's probably going to be a Philadelphia Eagle for like 5 seasons. We'll probably give him a 5th year. We'll probably give him a contract extension. Who knows? He's no good. I will say a lone bright spot. I know he didn't play great today. Is Devontae Smith. He played well, and also you got to get Dallas Goedert involved. No catches he had 1 catch for 0 yards. If he doesn't get involved in a game, there's no shot we'll win. I could go on and on. I mean, what do you think?
And my biggest thing was, you faced the Saints defense last week. They're the number 1 run defense, and you put up, what was it, 270 yards or something? It was something crazy. It was like
something well over 250.
Yeah, it was like 260 rushing yards. Now this week, you go into a game where you're facing the 22nd rushing defense, and you can't establish the run at all. Like, even if I think Hurts total, I think he had like 8 rushes for 77 yards or something like that. Like, that's solid. But if you need to get the run game going, and you have to start out with Hurts, just start out with Hurts and just have him run a couple plays, or I don't even know. But the fact that they weren't able to, who do you think's a better running back talent wise, Miles Sanders or Jordan Howard?
Sanders by far, not even close. Yeah.
Sanders, for some reason, just does not work with this team. Is that coaching? Is it coaching?
I've said it over and over again. I think he has like his type of running is not meant for the Eagles. The Eagles are more straightforward.
I love him. I'm a fan of the team. I think he's an awesome running back because he has those great plays, and it's like, only a few people in the league can do. But I'm starting to think that, like you said about Jordan Howard, how Howard just fits in so well with this offense. I think Sanders, just because of coaching style or whatever it is, he just does not fit well with this team. And I think Sanders are going to be gone after this year.
I wouldn't be surprised.
One, sorry, and then I'll let you talk.
Go off, yeah.
One, he can't stay healthy. He cannot stay healthy. He's always hurt. He is always hurt. Today he had that huge run for 30 yards, and then he twisted his ankle, and then he was done. You're not going to win a game. I get Boston Scott is amazing against the Giants, but you're not going to win a football game, with just one running back. You know what I mean?
No,
I know Gainwell was in there for pass, but he's there. He's a pass catching running back. But I think Sanders is gone after this year because he has not stayed healthy, and when he does play, he's not playing well with this team. So that's where, I mean, my frustration, especially having him and being a fantasy owner, like how is he only putting up 60 rushing yards a game? Like how? I don't get it. I don't get
Yeah,
it.
I just think when it comes to the Eagles, they're more of a find the hole you're supposed to go to and run down the middle. Don't make any moves. Don't make any cuts. And I think Sanders is more of a flashy kind of Saquon Barkley type runner. Get through the hole and then make a couple guys miss. I don't think the Eagles have that style. Like, I mean, there's a lot of times where Miles Sanders could just get a first down, but instead he tries to dance around and he, ends up, on a 2nd and 7, we give him the ball. He gets, 5 yards. And then instead of diving for the first down, he ends up dancing and, only getting, 5 yards. I think the Eagles are more like, hey, we need Jordan Howard. He knows what to do. He hands off the ball. He runs straight, puts his head down. Gainwell does a similar thing, and Boston Scott all do similar things. I just don't see Sanders as a fit. The Eagles don't believe in paying the running back. They're not going to pay a running back. It's not going to happen, especially after seeing what's happened with – I love Christian McCaffrey. He hasn't been healthy in 2 seasons. He got hurt today, was walking out with, a cast on his leg. So it looks like, his season might be over. Aaron Jones has been hurt. You even look at guys like Derrick Henry, who were invincible for their whole entire career up to this point, out for the season. You're paying a running back $50 million. They're replaceable. So I definitely could see us moving on from Sanders, maybe getting a pick from him. He's definitely not going to – I really highly doubt, especially now looking at the way he's been handled for the Eagles and, how this coaching staff I think is going to be around for at least another season. I don't see him being on the Eagles too. I see him going a different direction, and maybe, Kenny Gainwell's the starter next year. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if Boston Scott's our starter next year. For some odd reason, we don't want to let him go.
I want to get this message before I forget. What I wrote here behind me, I don't know if it's backwards. The Eagles stink. The Eagles stink.
They stink.
The Eagles stink. Okay, listen, I know last week Bryce and I were excited. Jalen Hurts was making
electric. We're humans too. We're Philly fans too. We get bought back in, guys.
It's easy to ride with emotions, but I'm going to come back down to earth and I'm just going to tell it how it is. The Eagles stink. And I don't want to get into it. You know what? Actually, I do want to get into it.
Yes, go off. Come on.
For all of you who have texted me every week about how Jalen Hurts has the potential to be a great NFL quarterback, I don't want to hear from you ever again. Okay? Because there was a dude over in Indianapolis.
You deserve this. You deserve this. I'm not going to lie. You deserve it.
There was a dude over in Indianapolis. Yeah, he threw 2 interceptions, but if you actually watch that game,
give credit, and I don't give credit to Wentz. The second interception doesn't count when you're throwing.
The second interception was 5 seconds left on the clock.
It was a crappy ball, I will say. Yeah. Like he should have got it to the end zone, but I'm not going to blame him. That's not like a real interception.
I mean, the chances of the Colts tying that game in that position are slim to none.
Yeah, so he did have a fumble, but we'll go. We'll crush
the fumble, which is what you texted me out.
I didn't see it. So I didn't see it.
Bryce did not see the fumble, but for those who did see the fumble was on his blind side. He could not see who was coming. He doesn't have eyes in the back of his head. Anybody in the NFL, they're going to fumble that football.
It was funny because it was literally the first play I saw on the ESPN, and I think I just have a thing with Wentz that every time I watch him play, he fumbles. So it's more on me. Sorry about that, Carson. That's
then the interception with Antoine Winfield. I mean, that just comes down to great NFL players making great plays. Like sometimes players are just so talented, they're going to make plays. But he actually threw the ball over 300 passing yards and had 3 touchdowns against a team that just won the Super Bowl last year. Hurts played the Giants. Okay, the Giants have not made the playoffs in 8 years? It's going to be 9 this year.
I know they've been like literally the worst team in football over the last decade. Like actually, like not making it up, they've been like the worst team.
And I know they got good players on defense, but who would you rather have, the Buccaneers defense or the New York Giants defense?
Oh, obviously. I mean, I don't have to answer that question.
So listen, you need to be able to throw the ball in this league. It's a throwing league, and quarterbacks who are able to run and throw, it's the perfect combination. You won't be able to stop them. Mahomes has the ability to scramble and throw the ball down 70 yards. Josh Allen, I know he's struggling times this year, but he has that ability. Lamar Jackson, his arm's looking a lot better this year. There's just quarterbacks that are able to make throws and move with their legs. Hurts can move with his legs. He's a very good running back. He is not a good quarterback.
I want to give an example for, I'm watching the game with my dad, and he literally just goes like, Hurts needs to run the ball every play. My dad was like, he's stepping back in the pocket, he's looking to throw. My dad's like, no, don't throw, just run down the middle.
It's so funny. It is so funny that you brought that up, How much time was left when he made that throw to Rager, the last throw that Rager dropped? It was right in front of his face. How much
But
time? Remember?
there was like 15 seconds, I think, like to start that play. Oh,
There was a little bit more time, I
oh yeah,
thought.
there was.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
No,
got the
yeah.
Bucks. I got the Bucks game
I
mixed
know they
up.
didn't. I know they didn't have timeouts, but they had time on the clock to orchestrate
If
like
he
a
caught
drive.
that ball, there would have been like 14 seconds left.
Okay.
Like if he was down on the 1 yard line, they would have probably had time to spike it. I think he
What
would have
I'm
got in, but
what I'm
that
getting
that's
to is it's so funny that you brought up what your dad said when you guys were watching the football game, because in my mind when I was watching the game, I'm like, if I'm Nick Sirianni right now, call a play where the D-backs on the Giants, they all back up. There's a lot of space in the open field. Call like a not like a draw, but like a QB rollout to where Hurts rolls to his right or rolls out to his left, where it looks like it's going to throw, and then just have Hurts run 20 yards down the field to get like close to the end zone.
yeah,
And
be
then
quiet.
huh?
We could have teams listening to this. You got to be quiet about this, dude. This is a good play.
That's like it's like the typical Madden play. Like when you when you do the
Dude,
play
now,
action,
dude, the Jets in Washington just heard this. You just rolled the play.
when you do a play action rollout and you roll out and have all your wide receivers run deep and then you just run it 20 yards down the field with your quarterback, it works every time. They should do that with Jalen Hurts
The one,
because he's a good running back.
no, yeah, he's a very solid running back. I mean,
I said that last week on the show.
he's rushing for over 75 yards consistently every game. Like I would say he's rushing for about 90 yards a game consistently. I mean, he's top 10. I think he might be like top 7 in rushing. Like it's actually crazy the stuff
If it was not for like us needing a game winning drive or whatever you want to call the last minute 30, whatever we had on the clock, I texted you when he had 95 passing yards. Like he was so close to having more rushing yards than passing yards.
You know, it's funny. I texted in like in another group chat, and they're kind of like they're big Hurts guys. And I kind of just say throughout the game, like, what are you talking? Like, he sucks. Like, what do you mean? And I texted as you said it was funny. I texted and I said, guys, you can't pretend that a quarterback's good if he has 98 receiving yards going or throwing yards or passing yards. Couldn't think of the word passing yards going in to the fourth quarter against one of the worst teams in the league. Like Stafford played not a great game. He played a bad game and still threw for well over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns against a Green Bay team defense that has looked really solid the last couple weeks. They're a good defense, and they also have one of the best cornerbacks in the league and a really good safety. And Stafford's still able to do his thing. Granted, I'm not comparing Hurts to Stafford whatsoever. Stafford's 10 times the quarterback.
No, but I know what you're going for here.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I tell people all the time, and people always come up to me and they say, you really don't think there's a lot of good NFL quarterbacks in the league? Because there's not. There's a reason why every single draft there's 4 or 5 quarterbacks going all the time, because teams recycle and get rid of quarterbacks all the time, because there's only 5 to 10 Super Bowl type quarterbacks. Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers are Super Bowl guys. They're on a whole nother level compared to guys like, I don't know, like Baker Mayfield and Daniel Jones and Ben Roethlisberger at this point. They're not Super Bowl guys. Like, it's so essential for a team to find a Super Bowl guy like Tua Tagovailoa, a top 5 pick. Doesn't look like he is going to be a good NFL quarterback. The Dolphins are probably giving up on him this year. Same goes for a lot of Josh Rosen was a first round pick, top 10 pick. The Cardinals gave up on him after 10 starts. So like you said last week, I wanted to get into this a little bit, but you said Hurts, and granted, you have not been a Hurts guy, so I'm not going to pretend like, but you said he, as of now, a week ago, he deserves another chance at year 3. And I agreed with you, but now after this week, he definitely doesn't deserve a year 3. We know what Jalen Hurts is. Yes, maybe he can get better, but at this point, it's going to be hard for me to see that his arm gets any better. And I just don't know. I mean, especially with this offense, Sirianni still doesn't look like a great coach. Granted, he has improved a lot since the week 3 to 4. Really, when we struggled, he's improved a lot. I'll give him credit, and even Gannon, I'll give him credit. I get it was the Giants, but the defense definitely was not the reason we lost today. They actually kept us in it. But yeah, I mean, I just look at it like that. I mean, Hurts going into year 3, giving him another year. I think we know what we're going to get. Just another year like this, maybe a little bit better, but I just don't see it.
No, it's it's good that you brought that up last week when we were talking. I mean, they went on that win streak.
I'm not trying to call you out. I'm not trying to.
No. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go off of that because, listen, coming into this year, we predicted the Eagles to get no more than 4 wins. They're sitting at what, 5-7 right now?
Yeah, I mean, to me, they were either going to. I had two predictions: either like 4 to 6 win team. I'm not saying that because they have 5 wins, or like a 10 to 12 win team. That was like they're not going to be like a seven,
So,
8 win
yeah.
team.
So, you got to think they're going to win at least 2 more games. In my opinion, max 3.
I'm being honest. Like if they play the way they did today, then the New York Jets could beat them. Like I wouldn't call it an upset if like the Jets
Yeah.
beat them, and Washington definitely could beat us.
But, going off your point, I think with what he's done this year with a rookie head coach, a rookie defensive coordinator, offensive, just a young team, Hurts still will be on the team next year.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I also think, when you look at this upcoming rookie quarterback draft class, there's nobody special.
Yeah, we don't need to.
Like you're
Yeah,
not gonna,
you're not going to take a top 5. Like a quarterback won't go. I don't even think a quarterback will go. Maybe one will go late in the first round to a team that.
there's no Andrew Lucks, there's no Justin Herberts, there's no Peyton Mannings in this draft that you need, no Trevor Lawrence's like
Yeah,
so
this is not the quarterback draft,
yeah.
unlike last year, which was the mega quarterback draft.
So if I'm the Eagles, listen, like I said last episode, he's only owed $1 million next year. That's so cheap. All right. So you might as well, you're not going to win the Super Bowl next year. You might as well give him a chance.
Whoa. Let's not get.
We're
Hey,
not, we're
let's
not
not throw that out there. You never know.
everybody's getting traded at the end of this year. Everybody's going.
Yeah, but it's like I said, and I always said I thought we were going more realistically. We were going to be like an exciting rebuild, how Miami was 2 years ago, where like everyone thought they were going to be like a 1-win, 0-win team, and they ended up going off winning like 5, 6 games, having really exciting games. They had that like crazy last second touchdown against the Patriots. Like they were a fun team to watch, but yeah, no, I mean the Eagles are really, really bad. There's no denying it at this point. Unfortunately, it came 1 week later when we
I
were
love
talking.
when you I love when you like you say a take and then you're like, there's no denying it at this point.
Yeah, like I mean, like I'm honest and like obviously knowing me, like and you, I mean, we're the biggest Eagles fans ever. I love the Philadelphia Eagles, and I remind people all the time that I get bought back into them all the time throughout the year. But this year was a little bit different. It was only once, or it was only twice, week 1, and the last week. But they're a bad team. There's no denying it. They went on a little bit of a run, but if you really look at it, like I tell people to look at it, like let's just say you were, I don't know, like a Broncos fan, and you watch the Eagles play and you watch Jalen Hurts play, would you be like, this guy's a good quarterback? He's a franchise quarterback? No. You'd be like, he's exciting to watch, but he doesn't really have a great arm. He can run, he's athletic, but he doesn't have a great arm and he can't win it at the end. And he's throwing for 90. Like think about it, he's averaging like 130 yards passing a game. You are never going to win in the NFL like that. This is not college. You're never going to win in the NFL like that.
The Giants aren't an intimidating defense. They're not like the 85 Bears defense. You know what I mean?
Their captain on defense was Mr. Irrelevant. He was the last pick of the draft class a year ago. I'm not like firing a shot at him. I'm just saying that says something. The last pick of the draft.
But on episodes, in past, why are these not games where you're giving Hurts more opportunities to throw the ball? Let him get comfortable. Let him get used to the timings of the wide receivers and the routes and try to build up his arm a little bit. Like Hurts is not going to evolve as a quarterback if he's only throwing 90 passing yards a game. You know what I mean? Like,
and he's not throwing any. He can't. I mean, this is not me being like I'm like trying to go over this point over and over again. But when it comes to any passes over 40 yards, you literally don't know where the ball is going. You like it's crazy to think you've got guys like Patrick Mahomes who sprint out, turn their bodies the complete opposite direction, and can throw a dime 60 yards down the field right into their wide receiver's hands, fit it into windows. And we have a quarterback that we don't even know can confidently throw like a 25-yard pass to an open wide receiver.
The Giants were not scared at the end of this game today because the plays that the Eagles were successful on at the end of that game-winning drive were Gainwell going out.
Yeah, we had 25 yards to Gainwell, which they're fine giving up a play like that. Yeah, and then they had, they grant. I mean, I'll give Hurts credit. Those last 2 balls to Rager were good balls.
The one I'm on Rager's side. The one he cannot catch. That's for Hurts. Hurts has to lead him on that.
No, I agree. I agree. But it's a tough catch. But that was a tougher catch. But it's still a makeable grab. It's still not a crazy. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to, say the point, but guys like Justin Jefferson can pull that ball down. He's made
You
crazy.
expect your first round wide receiver to make a
Yeah,
catch
like that's
in a
different.
tough moment like that.
If
Yeah.
we throw that ball to JJ Argo-Whiteside or Quez Watkins, I'd be saying something different. Or like Greg Ward, I'd be like, you know what, that's a hard catch for them to make. They're not those type of guys. But Jalen Reagor is a first round pick. He's supposed to make those catches. We expect guys like Devontae Smith to make that catch, which he can. But the second drop, we don't need to get into. I'm not, people are probably expecting us to keep going over that. We knew all season. I've been saying it all year.
There's no denying that catch.
I've been saying it since the day we drafted him. He is a complete and utter bust. He wasn't very good in college. He hasn't been good at all in the NFL. I want to also remind people that the most yards he had in one game was his first ever game in the NFL, where he caught one pass for about 57 yards. He's he's not just a bad first round pick. He's a bad player. He's not an NFL player. And another miss by the Eagles. We tried to make him into a punt and kick returner just so we could use our first round pick and not say he's a complete bust. He can't do that either. And another thing I want to go over, and I know this is a little bit off topic, but I need to talk about this play, and I think it sums up just the way the Eagles are. I think Greg Ward might just have he must have an email or something bad on Jeffrey Loyer or Howie Roseman, because I don't know why he's still on this team. It bothers me, and it sums up the Eagles just the whole season. Is they run an actual solid play, on that 3rd and goal or whatever, right before halftime. They throw the ball. First off, don't throw the ball to Greg Ward. He shouldn't be in the game on an important play. You throw the ball to him. Yes, was it a decently tough catch? I guess you could say that he just drops the ball. He's dropped 3 passes like that all season. That just summed up the Eagles. And then Hurts, instead of throwing the ball away with 2 seconds left in tying the game up, he decides to throw an absolute lob into the end zone. Like it's the end of the game. It's 4th and goal, and you just got to throw it up. Just throw the ball out of bounds and take the points. I just don't get it. I mean, those 2 plays really summed up. That's when I knew even if they came out and win this game, they have no shot of beating a even somewhat decent team. It was embarrassing. I don't know. I'm fuming, Jim. I'm trying to calm down right now. I'm trying to settle down. If you would have called me right at halftime, it was ugly. It was ugly where I was at. Me and my dad were not happy. But man, I mean, it's just the Eagles, keeping guys around like JJ Argo-Whiteside and Greg Ward. I know Jalen Reagor is going to be around for 5 more seasons because it's just the way we are.
Because you know what? They're trying to make good on their investment. They're trying to see their pick through. And, I don't know what Howie Roseman was thinking, Justin Jefferson, LSU, great wide receiver, over someone at TCU. He had a good college career, but the Vikings draft room was
celebrating. They were laughing at us.
So I don't know what Howie Roseman was looking at.
I still say to this day, Jalen Reagor doesn't go in the first round. If the Eagles don't draft him right there, he does not go in the first round.
And so I'm not going to,
The point is, Jalen Reagor.
The game. This is where I give him a little bit. Yes, he should have made that catch in the game, but the game, our loss was not on Reagor. We didn't lose today's game.
No. Yeah, you're 100%.
We lost today's game because our offense is not a smooth flowing. We have no passing game whatsoever. Did you see how upset Devontae Smith was running off that field on that last play? It wasn't because Jalen Reagor dropped the ball. It was because he was wide open about 2 to 3 times on his route, and Hurts just refused to throw him the ball.
Yeah, because the issue is he only looks at his first look. We've talked about this throughout the whole entire season.
And he does not trust his arm. He does not trust his arm.
In one of the interceptions he had, the last one, he just looked down. Safety's job is to read the quarterback. They look at his eyes the whole entire time. When he runs a play and this play's supposed to go to Devontae Smith, he just looks at Devontae Smith. He doesn't glance over at Quez Watkins to throw a cornerback or a safety off. He looks at him the whole way. That's the reason why he threw that interception, especially obviously it was also a bad ball. We don't need to talk about that. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, Devontae Smith was definitely frustrated. He was definitely open. I mean, you saw it on your TV screen live. He was open. It would have been a hard throw to make, but that's what you expect, guys, and that's why I go on. That's why there's only a handful of really good quarterbacks in this league, because guys like Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, the guys, they make those throws, and guys like Tua, Jalen Hurts, they don't make those throws.
I've been saying since day one, Jalen Hurts works very hard. He is a very good leader.
Yeah, me and Jim
He's,
are big fans of him.
he's
Big fans of Jalen Hurts. Like I like him as a guy, like a person.
he
Like
is electric in terms of running the football. He's like fun to watch. He fakes defenders literally out of their shoes. But I've been saying it since day one. There's going to come a time that you're going to need him to make a big throw, and he will not be able to make it. And that's what you need your quarterbacks to do. You need your quarterbacks to make big throws in big moments, or else you don't have a Super Bowl winning quarterback. You don't.
that's why I give you credit because obviously in the beginning of the season, the first couple of weeks I bought into his hype, and after like 5 or 6 weeks, I would say you started to get to me, and I started buying out. And I was talking to people, and I would say different types of things when I talk to people. They're like, "How do you feel about Hurts?" And I was like, at this point, he's not an NFL guy, and I knew that. And even last week when we were bought back in, we both agreed that it was concerning that the fact that we scored all of our touchdowns and played the way we did was because all Jalen Hurts did was run, and that was a concern. I think more people didn't really realize that. It's tough to realize it because he is such an electric player. The way he plays the game is so fun to watch. It's tough to realize sometimes that he's not playing the right way. Not like he's playing like he's doing anything bad, but like he's not playing quarterback. He's playing running back, but just getting the ball first.
I mean, we should get a quarterback and then move him to running back. I'm not even kidding.
No,
I'm
I would love to still have. I would love for him to be a Taysom Hill. Like the original plan was that have him be a Taysom Hill. I would love for that. I would love for Jalen Hurts to continue to play for the Eagles.
The
But
night that he got drafted, we were on the phone and we're like, he's going to be a Taysom Hill for this offense. Like
yeah,
Carson Wentz is going to be the quarterback, and he's going to be like, a weapon. Just comes in and is able to make a nice catch, a nice
yeah,
run
I
play.
love him. I love him as that role. And at this point, like I mean, we could
For only $1 million, why not give it a shot? Why not
yeah, no,
try out?
literally took the words out of my mouth. I mean, why not give him a tryout at just try at that. I mean, Jalen Hurts, no matter what you got to do. I mean, he literally got benched for Tua Tagovailoa and sat a whole season in Alabama. He knows, he's not like gonna
Because
complain.
another thing that just popped up in my head because I mentioned it last week because you said like around the league, are there any other quarterbacks that you'd be willing to replace for Hurts? And there's really not many like options out there right now. Like the draft class obviously is not strong, so you wouldn't give up on Hurts there, and there's no really quarterbacks on the market to trade for. But now coming from a Green Bay perspective or a Seattle perspective, even if you get 3 first-round picks and Jalen Hurts and say Miles Sanders for Russell Wilson, if I'm the Seattle Seahawks, I'm not accepting that. I don't care if Russell Wilson wants to be on our team or not, because in my opinion, Geno Smith is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts is.
They're close. Arm wise, they're close.
Geno Smith has more experience. And now I'll switch over to the other team that I want to talk about too. The Green Bay Packers. You go for the 3 first-round picks and Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts. Who are you taking, Jordan Love or Jalen Hurts? Like, honestly, I know all 3 of them are not good quarterbacks, but I'd rather have Geno Smith and I'd rather have Jordan Love than I'd rather have Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
You don't have to agree with me. But
Jordan Love, I wouldn't say Geno Smith, just because age. Like
hey, he held his own when Russell Wilson went down.
No, I mean Geno Smith probably gets paid more money. Just so like quarterbacks get paid pretty decent, backup quarterbacks. But I wouldn't mind. I mean, Jordan Love is he's a coin flip investment. Like you're either going to get a really solid quarterback out of him, a potential like stud out of him, or you're going to get a really bad quarterback. You have no idea what you're getting. And you know what you're getting in Geno Smith. He's not winning you. He might win you 4 or 5 games maybe, but yeah,
which is what Jalen Hurts is.
Yeah, but I'm saying like Jordan Love could be Tua or he could be Patrick Mahomes. You never know. So, I wouldn't call that crazy. He's still a really young guy. I don't know, man. I mean, for me, 3 first-round picks. I think you just got to solidify like key positions. I think you got to get a linebacker or one of those picks. Definitely a safety. I don't know. We can't keep bringing back Rodney McLeod. It's kind of sad at this point. It's not that he's a bad player, but he's well past his prime. He probably should not.
Would you trade Jalen Hurts and a 2nd-round pick for Sam Darnold?
I would say no. I think I've seen enough of Sam Darnold. I wasn't a big fan of him coming into the draft. I really thought he was overrated. I thought he kind of had a weaker arm. And he got a shot.
Would you trade straight up Jalen Hurts for Sam Darnold?
Yeah, I mean, I think I could see I could do that. I don't think Sam Darnold would be an answer. I think he's gotten his
I'm just
shot.
saying, yeah, I'm just thinking of quarterbacks around the league that we could potentially make a move for.
Yeah, I mean, I just think Russell Wilson is obviously something I could see happening. Honestly, I could see us giving up 3 first-round picks for him. I wouldn't be thrilled about that trade though because
Is
even
Derek Carr a free agent this year?
I don't know.
He might be.
I know he signed a big deal a couple years ago, but he might be. But I really don't see him leaving. I would like to have Derek Carr. He kind of
I like Derek Carr.
I like him too. But he is like the one quarterback in the league that like if you ask me, can he win the Super Bowl? I'd be like, wow, that's tough. I'd probably more realistically lean towards no. I think he's a great leader and I think he's a great quarterback, but he's definitely been a little bit inconsistent. Like he comes off great years and really bad years. Like there's no in between with him.
Would you trade Jalen Hurts for Carson Wentz?
Don't ask me that. I hate
No.
Carson.
You know what? Because you were so big on him leaving, and that is a quarterback.
But no, I would say no to Carson Wentz because now hear me out. I'd say no to Carson Wentz
The Colts would
because
say no. The Colts would say no to that.
no, yeah, but we're speaking, you know,
I was
speaking,
busted on you.
yeah, we're speaking just, but I would say no because I think he needs Frank Wright to succeed right now.
Just like how Michael Jordan needed Phil Jackson to succeed.
No, don't compare it.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan's the greatest to ever do it in his sport.
See, LeBron, on the other hand, he could do it with any coach. He could win no matter what. Michael Jordan needs Phil.
We're not getting into this. I'm already pissed off enough about the Eagles. But no, I mean, this is going to be a weird offseason. And unfortunately, at this point, our picks, of course, Miami, for some odd reason, just went on a 4-game win streak. That kills us. I mean, people aren't thinking about that.
Miami has a potential to make the playoffs.
Yeah, which is just sad because they're such a bad football team. Like Miami is such a bad team.
They put it together. It seems like it's
no. I think
at some point they put it together, no matter how bad they are.
I think they've taken advantage of a pretty easy schedule nearing the end of the year. Yes, they beat the Ravens, but the Ravens haven't been too impressive to me. I mean, I know they're on right now. I don't know what the score is of that
How
game.
do you feel about the Patriots being number 1 in the AFC East?
I've been saying it now for about 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, you can vouch for me, and a lot of people can vouch for me. I would not be surprised if the New England Patriots win the Super Bowl this year. I don't think that's a crazy statement to make. You're looking around. I think you might think I'm crazy. Why? They're so solid everywhere.
I want to see if anybody else heard that because
I've been saying that. I've been saying it for 2 weeks. Why is it crazy for them to win the Super Bowl? I get they have a rookie quarterback, so that's a little crazy. But like Mac Jones is playing like a veteran. I mean, he's throwing for 300 plus yards a game and 2 touchdowns consistently. He doesn't turn over the ball. They've got the
first round stud in Nelson Aguilar.
I mean, Aguilar's good. I don't care what anybody says. Aguilar's good. They just have an odd, weird, like wide receiver core with 2 solid tight ends that everything fits well, and their defense has played unbelievable this season. I mean, and obviously, I don't need to talk about. They've got a very good coach, obviously, in Bill Belichick. He kind of knows what to do.
I know, but listen, in a game though,
they're better than the Bills. They're better than the Bills. They're definitely better than the Bills.
For me, it comes down to the quarterback always. I get Bill Belichick's, wizard on defense, great defensive mind, greatest coach of all time. But would you rather put your money on Josh Allen to play well or Mac Jones? Like if you need to win one game.
I mean, yeah, that's different though. Like I would take Mac Jones before you go crazy. It's because I believe in the Patriots team more and their coaching staff more. But like, let's just say you were putting Josh Allen and Mac Jones on a team. Like, you put them on the Minnesota Vikings, both of them. Obviously, Josh Allen is a much more talented quarterback. But when it just comes to that coaching staff, I mean, look at New England, man. They're blowing out teams, and they're not blowing out bad teams. Tennessee is not a bad team. I get they don't have Derrick Henry, but they're still an 8-win team.
No, I mean, in this win streak that they got going, I think they beat the Chargers, the Browns,
Falcons, and they
Falcons.
You got to give teams credit. Like sometimes teams, like Tennessee was considered a really good team. They end up losing to the Jets. Like really good teams don't lose to the, those kind of games. New England was supposed to crush the Falcons. They crushed the Falcons. Like
it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the season goes.
I'm just saying.
When you talk about Super Bowl, and I always go with the team that has the better quarterback. Like last year when we were talking before the Super Bowl, we both said that we like Brady more than Mahomes. Brady, not always. It always doesn't work out that, but Brady came out on top in the Super Bowl run this year. I'm taking Patrick Mahomes over Mac Jones. I'm taking
No,
Josh
yeah.
Allen over Mac.
No,
Just
that's not crazy.
to have a better game. I'm saying.
No,
Like,
no, you're 1,000% right, and I'm not going to disagree with you at all.
the team, obviously, but I trust those. Who else? If the Chargers and Patriots face each other, I trust Herbert more than I trust Mac Jones. If the Ravens and the Patriots face each other, I trust Lamar Jackson over Mac Jones.
No, and you're in all your opinion.
I know all those quarterbacks are just MVP type quarterbacks, but I'm just saying for a 1-game playoff run, Patriots are a great overall team, but I'd rather take the quarterback.
I mean, but right now, I mean, that's the only thing for this team that I think people are really like overshadowing and not thinking about is because yes, they have a rookie quarterback. Currently, he's the rookie of the year. I get Jamar Chase had a great start to the season, but at the end of the day, these awards go to quarterbacks. And we see what Mac Jones is doing. I mean, for a guy that was, potentially a top 3 pick and, slipped all the way down to, I think the Patriots had the 15 pick. He's definitely been the best quarterback so far in this draft class. Granted, Trey Lance hasn't played at all really. We've seen Zach Wilson. He's, we don't need to talk about his struggles. Trevor Lawrence has really struggled. Those guys haven't played great, but to me, I just think, I don't think it's crazy. I'm done. I'm not going to doubt Bill Belichick. I'm not going to doubt the Patriots. I'm not, I wasn't saying like, oh, they're my Super Bowl. What's up?
You're thinking Super Bowl?
I think it's not crazy to me if they win the Super Bowl. And it definitely wouldn't be crazy to me if they make a long playoff run and go to the Super Bowl. To me right now, I see them going to the AFC Championship. I really do. I mean, I know you can name a ton of better teams, but it's like a ton of better quarterbacks, which is, that's part of the game. But if you look at a team right now, to me, a team all together, the most well-rounded team in the league, I'm saying New England. I mean,
they're putting it together nicely,
and they're doing it at the right time. They are doing it right now at the right time. I mean, if you watch Mac Jones play, I think that's the issue. People don't really watch the Patriots play unless they're playing prime time, which is normal. I mean, you're not going to watch, those type of games. They're dominating. They are playing so much better than other teams, and they're running. And Mac Jones is playing how Tom Brady played for New England. He's not, making crazy big deep plays. He's hitting the wide receivers. He's letting them make plays. They've got like 12 different running backs there, like they always do, and their defense is playing unbelievable. They signed a guy like Matthew Judah, who was considered just a real, solid player. He's got, I think he's got 10 sacks this season. I mean,
they're saying that was the best free agent signing of all the NFL.
Definitely, without a doubt, definitely.
The Patriots picking him up.
Look at guys like Kendrick Bourne was considered a solid number like 3-4 wide receiver for the 49ers. They bring him in. I think he's got 4 or 5 touchdowns this season. We've seen what Aguilar's done. Hunter Henry's gotten the end zone.
Yep.
It looks like their only free agent player that they signed that's struggling right now is Jalen Mills is struggling. Not surprised. Jalen Mills isn't a very good player.
There's no denying that.
Yeah, there's no denying that. I like how you saying that.
We gotta make a T-shirt that has.
Yeah, and Deontay Smith hasn't fit the system like they would, but that's what happens when you sign 2 free agent tight ends. One of them's going to outperform the other. That's what you expect. It's the Belichick thing.
Quarterbacks just develop chemistry with a certain player more than another.
Yeah,
Hunter
Henry's his guy, which I think Hunter Henry, like anyone would say, has potential, to be a top 5 tight end in the league. It was just injuries kind of holding him back throughout the years, but yeah, I mean, I don't think it's crazy to say that. The Rams, who were my Super Bowl favorite, I'm not saying the Patriots are my Super Bowl favorite.
Changing it up?
No, it's unfortunate the Rams look like they're dying out. The Odell curse hit them. I did not account for Odell signing with the team. Let's be fair here, Jim. Did not account for that. But also, I mean, your Super Bowl sleeper also got hit with a huge, huge blow with Derrick Henry leaving, but Tennessee Titans.
That's so funny that you just brought that up. The injuries have killed the Titans this year. I know Julio was hurt in the beginning of the year. They were without him last year, and they were still good.
A.J. Brown's out.
Derrick Henry being out for the season, and now A.J. Brown being out for the next 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, the Titans, for a little stretch, when Henry was going off, I mean, they looked strong. They looked real strong.
And also bringing up injuries, a huge injury that hasn't really been noted is the Bills just lost Tre'Davious White for the season. He is
Oh, I remember seeing that.
he's a top 3 cornerback in my eyes. That's going to really, really hurt when you lose a top 3 cornerback in the league, somebody that
Yeah.
literally shuts down a wide receiver. You lose him for the season, that hurts. I'm not bought in at all on Green Bay. I think people, they lose games to like Minnesota. It's really weird. Rodgers doesn't win in the NFC Championship games. That's not me.
1-4.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a winner when it comes to the NFC Championship games. To me, the Buccaneers probably going to get there again as long as TP12 is the quarterback. I don't care if he's the quarterback for the Detroit Lions. That team's going to, in my eyes, is going to go to the Super Bowl somehow. So, I mean, well, how crazy would that be? Buccaneers, Patriots, Super Bowl. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. I'm just saying.
Bryce, if you're right, that would be a crazy prediction.
I'm just saying. I think people. I don't think the AFC is really that great. And
Dude, we'd have to get tickets to go to that game.
I'm just saying.
We would have to just put all of our money towards.
But I have been saying this. Like this hasn't been like I'm saying this right now. I've been saying this for 2 to 3 weeks. I've been telling people, hey, like New England is good. Like New England is really, really, really good. And
I can't wait for Brady to beat Belichick in the Super Bowl and then retire, and then that's it.
Do you remember what 2 quarterbacks I said out of the 5 quarterbacks? Do you remember what 2 quarterbacks I said I think are going to have the better NFL careers?
Wait, then Brady?
No, just coming into this draft out of the 5 quarterbacks that got drafted.
That are going to have the 2 best careers?
Yeah, that are going to have the best careers, who I thought were the best quarterbacks coming into the draft.
I mean, I thought you liked Trey Lance a lot. I mean,
I love Trey Lance.
Yeah.
So the other one was Mac Jones, and I mean, you can go back to our original videos. I told you I thought Trevor Lawrence would struggle going to Jacksonville.
The only reason why I was hesitant, I know we were both high on Justin Fields as well, so I didn't know if you had Trey Lance and Fields. I like Fields.
No, I wasn't high on Justin Fields. I was not high on him. I was getting more excited about him, but I wouldn't say I was high on him. I had more of him.
Not as high as those guys. That's why I don't remember you brought Mac Jones bringing him up, but I know
we both agreed. We both agreed Zach Wilson was a bust. Like that was a note that we were like, that guy sucks, and he sucks. So sorry, Zach.
But you talking about Mac Jones, that was good by you.
You weren't a believer in Mac Jones. You were not a believer.
I was not a believer because what Alabama quarterback has been successful in the NFL?
No, you're 1,000.
And I know it's a small sample size right now. I know it's a very small sample size. Like you said, the overall team in New England is very good, and that obviously helps out a rookie quarterback. But hey, the Patriot system is perfect for Mac Jones.
Well, that's how coming into the draft,
easy passes, get the ball out fast, and then that's it.
Yeah, coming into the draft, it was either the 49ers, he was going 3, or he was dropping all the way to the Patriots. And I said both teams are a perfect fit for him with, I believe, 2 really good coaches. And he went to obviously the better team all around. New England obviously had its question marks this season. They made a lot of crazy free agency signings from, we just named all those guys. No one really knew where that team was going to go. Their first bad year since we've literally been alive. New England's been good our whole entire lives. They had 1 bad year, and they're good again. They're good. So, I'm not surprised they're in New England. Don't be surprised if you see them in the Super Bowl. I think for sure they're going to get to the AFC Championship game. I'm going to guarantee that. Book it now.
Too.
I think probably the Chiefs.
Okay. And the NFC Championship game.
I'm going to go for NFC. I'm going to go rematch of last year.
All right.
Green Bay Buccaneers. I believe that was the NFC Championship.
Yep, it was.
Yeah. I'm going to go with that. Rodgers loses again. He always loses the NFC Championship game. Yes, Rodgers, all-time great. I know. Go on and on. He always loses the NFC Championship game. Brady always wins championship game. Yeah. Brady always wins. He's a winner. When it comes to that Super Bowl, I don't know. That's for we're gonna
who's winning that Super Bowl if it came down.
Right. Well, I'm saying right now, Tampa Bay, but you never know. Mike Evans might get hurt. I hope he doesn't get hurt now that I just said that.
What's up with you always predicting top wide receivers to get hurt?
And it's a shame too, because I usually nail it too. Like that usually happens. So no, I'm a big fan of Mike Evans. Hope that doesn't happen. Let's knock on wood real quick. Do that.
Hey, you dropped him. My boy Gronkowski's back. Vintage day.
There's so much, but Brady is so much better when he's like Rob Gronkowski's just in the game.
Oh my gosh. Watching those 2 players, it's so much fun.
No, yeah, I mean,
so much fun.
Yeah, I dropped him. That was more to I just drafted him more so jokingly. great. I mean, he was also, I would have dropped him anyway. He was out for like 7 weeks, but
Yo, to talk about fantasy real quick. 3 weeks ago, no, 2 weeks ago, I played Rich.
no, I wanted to go. I actually wanted to. I
We'll
wanted to
talk, we'll talk about fantasy for a little bit.
Yeah,
2 weeks ago, I played Rich. Biggest game of my season. I had him beat. I was beating him by 60. Somehow, Cooper Kupp, Debo Samuel, and his kicker went off. I lost by 8. All right, the following week, Rob had Jonathan Taylor. And
I also want to remind everyone, Rob started 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 players that were on bye. I believe he hasn't checked fantasy football since week 1.
he had 6 players in his starting lineup. 2 of his guys, in Jonathan Taylor and Justin Jefferson, had historic fantasy weeks. They put up 90 points total. I lost that game 125 to 124. Okay, so that's that game. And now I'm in a nail biter. I'm up by 5, and Dan's got his kicker left. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
My team has just completely collapsed. I'm not going to sit here and deny. I've had a couple of injuries. Alvin Kamara, he's not playing anymore. Yeah, it's getting bad out here for me. I'm not going to sit here and lie.
The Broad Street Brothers are struggling in fantasy right now.
In my one league, I am. In my one league, I won this week again. I'm going to be 8-4. I'm looking really good in that league. I'm first place. But in the Brothers Broad Street, I just want to give not a shout out, but Antonio Gibson. You really sucked this year, man. I just wanted to put that out there. I thought you were going to be a stud, and you absolutely just you just blew it.
Be kind to these guys. Come on.
Yeah. Also, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I mean, you've been okay. I just would have appreciated a better season out of you. That would be good.
But no, I mean, fantasy once again. 3 weeks that I thought that I was going to come away with wins, and now I'm.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta laugh.
I'm nervous about playoffs now. Like,
I'm out. I'll see you playoffs.
I was sitting at the 3 seed. I was locked in, and now I'm getting nervous.
It's crazy too because the absolute worst fantasy, possibly one of the worst fantasy people of all time, in Rich. He's had history of just being absolutely god awful at fantasy.
Who expected Cooper Kupp, Debo Samuel, and Cordell Patterson to be 3 top fantasy players?
Yeah, it's funny. I drafted Debo in my other league. He's been like literally my best player, second best player.
Yeah,
I drafted him in my other league with like the second to last pick.
Well,
I was like, I'll just take Debo. Like that was literally what I did. And
he wasn't high up in the rankings.
No, I took him. I took him with a bottom 4 to 5 pick. I don't know
because I selected in our draft. I selected Brandon Ayuk because they were saying that he was going to have the big season in the offense, and it's
unfortunately for me, I knew it was going to go one of 2 ways. I thought Robert Woods would be the
Rams. Yeah,
I thought Robert Woods would be Stafford's guy. Unfortunately, I just chose wrong, and that really hurt me. Because obviously we don't need to talk about the season Cooper Kupp's having. I mean, he's been lights out, 25
points. Phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like mad about it. Just pick the wrong guy. It happens. Robert Woods still did okay for me until he got hurt, but that killed me. And I don't want to talk about Antonio Gibson. I mean, he is just like, I don't know what happened. I thought for sure I was getting a 30-point a game guy like every week. And Alvin Kamara also has been he's been pretty bad this season too.
When you lose Drew Brees, you lose a part of your offense. And I know Jameis was playing well for the time that he was in there, but
he's not finding the end zone like I thought he would.
Yeah.
I mean, also I was really banking on getting Derrick Henry, and Dan took him with the 3rd pick. That just sucked. Even with Derrick Henry being out, I would have won a lot more games just in the beginning of the season. And yeah, I mean, it stinks. What are you gonna do? But my other, I listen, killing it in the other league. Not trying to be that guy, but at least in the other league it's worked out.
What's your record in the other league?
I'm 8-4 now. I lost 2 times though, to like one by like 3 points and the other one by like 4. So, and my kicker got like hurt during one of the games, which was brutal. I forget what had happened, but they got hurt mid-game and like after they kicked and they had to leave. So that probably cost me a week, which was brutal. And then the same week with Cooper Kupp with the 49ers, I had the lead in the very last second. Cooper Kupp caught like a 15-yard pass, and that lost me the week. So that was brutal. But now, no complaints. 8-4 right now, looking like I'm getting a bye. But we're not gonna talk about that. Talk about the Brothers Broad Street one. And listen, not a good first season for us, but it's been wild because Rich D'Onofrio, the fans don't know, and I'm willing to say this, I'll say it to his face, is terrible at fantasy football. He's just terrible at it. He's made a lot of bad trades. I won't forget Bishop Sankey with like his fourth round pick the one year. I don't think he even touched the ball that season.
He had Jaquiz Rogers that 1 year too.
Yeah, he's made a lot of really questionable trades.
Oh man, but no, I mean, Jeff's team's looking solid, but with McCaffrey going down again today, that
I have his
hurts.
backup. I have his backup, so that could, that could bring. I keep him. I kept him in both leagues. Everyone's like, "Why do you still have him?" He hasn't, he's not touching the ball at all. Because I was like, McCaffrey always gets injured.
Dude,
So.
it's funny you talk about backups because I've had DeAndre Swift all year. He's been having a great year, but every week he's always on the injury report, always questionable. And people were saying, if you draft DeAndre Swift,
You got to draft Jamal Williams. I remember that
draft
being.
Jamal Williams. And each week I've always contemplated dropping him to make room for another pickup. Thank God I kept Williams on my team.
I also want to say, I want to say
that saved me.
Leading on to this, I want to say, Matthew Berry, you screwed me again. I don't know why I listened to you. You're the worst. You said all season long, don't draft DeAndre Swift. I wanted to draft him so bad, and somehow I didn't go with my gut, and you convinced me not to do it. And you said, got to take Antonio Gibson. Just a complete whiff from you. Just a complete, utter whiff from my guy. Just unbelievably bad. I don't know how he gets paid to do it because he just made a brutal mistake for me. Also, he's like, I love Mike Davis. Mike Davis literally hasn't touched the ball this season.
I can't believe you just came at a guy who's been doing something for years.
Well, I have no problem with it. Yeah, I took it. I same guy that told me to take C.J. Anderson in the first round all those years ago, and just god awful. I won't forget. I don't forget, Jim. You know me. I don't ever forget if I get bad advice or something. It's been like 7 years since that move.
The best advice I ever received was pick the best player on the board. If you pick a quarterback and then the next round,
I'll never forget you took Andrew Luck and it was wild, and I was like, that is the worst pick ever, and did it. You got me.
You just always, it doesn't matter what player you need, what position you need, pick the best player on the board because somehow at the end of the season, the points line up.
No, I've been, most of the time, I go with my gut most of the time, and it paid off. I drafted, I loved Austin Eckler. I took him, and he was kind of considered like, hey, that's a risky pick because you never know. And I mean, he's probably been the second best player in fantasy this season behind Jonathan Taylor. I don't know. I don't know that for sure, but I want to say, I mean, he's gotten me at least 20 points a week, if not more than that, pretty consistently. I think he's only had like 2 or 3 bad weeks for me in like a 12-week span. So I'll take that all day.
Yeah, no, I've always liked Eckler. I had him 1 year on my team.
He's a weird guy. He's a weird guy. Yeah. Like the way, I thought he would be catching the ball more, but actually he's running the ball a lot more than I thought, which is nice. So
yeah, and it's nice to have that Chargers offense though, because they throw the ball a lot. So
I also have Keenan Allen.
Like 5 catches a game.
Yeah, I also have Keenan Allen, which it makes it really exciting because obviously Mike Williams in the beginning of the season, I was like, what? Come on. But Keenan Allen's, he hasn't been getting in the end zone a lot, but he's catched like 9 balls a game for like 100 yards for like 3 straight weeks. So I've been happy with him. Weird year in fantasy, weird year in football too. Think about it. Like, is there a guaranteed lock Super Bowl team? There usually is by now, but
no.
I get the Cardinals are like 9-2, but I'm still not.
And usually the AFC is stronger at this point than the NFC.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's usually more solid teams in the AFC that AFC is up for grabs than there is in the NFC. Like in the NFC, there's usually about 2 or 3 teams that are solid. But now this year,
I do think this is like the only year where like a wild card team can win the Super Bowl because I think it's such a random year.
Yeah.
Like how the Giants won the Super Bowl, in both years they won it recently.
And they were 8-8.
They were not. They both. I mean, I'm not like firing shots at Giants fans. You guys won the Super Bowl. Hey, like good for you. But those were 2 weaker Super Bowl winning teams. Like you look back and you're like, those teams won a Super Bowl, kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. Same thing with like Baltimore. Baltimore was really bad. Like that team was bad the year they won the Super Bowl. That was a bad football team. But you get hot at the right time, and it's a weird year. So, yeah. Hey, maybe the Eagles can sneak in.
You never know if they get that wild card. Anything can happen.
No, we need to start. Tanking. I'm also really worried. The Giants currently have the 6th and the 7th pick in the draft because they have their pick and the Bears pick.
The Giants have potential to make a lot of good moves this offseason.
Yeah, I think I do think
the first move has to be fire their GM.
Go back. Yeah, I want to say go back to when we had that episode with my boy Ken Zlak.
We got to bring him on again.
Yeah, I think the Giants are going to, unfortunately, because I am a Daniel Jones guy. I think they're going to be done with him. I think they're going to fire their coach too. I think. They won today. Maybe they can finish out the season solid, but the GM's I think definitely gone. And depending on how they
Their defense isn't bad, but I think they should work on that offensive line. Definitely, they should trade Barkley.
Well, I saw. It's funny. I saw a tweet, and obviously, yes, we can talk about it now. And we all know Saquon is unbelievably talented.
Yeah.
He just doesn't fit that team. He'll be gone probably this year, if not next year for sure.
Mm-hmm.
They drafted Saquon Barkley with the second overall pick and then they drafted Will Hernandez with their second round pick later, who is ranked right now as the worst guard in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Not like saying that to make fun of Giants fans, just like a true stat. I'm not like lying. When they could have drafted Nick Chubb, or they could have drafted Quentin Nelson with the second overall pick, which is never crazy to draft an offensive lineman with a top 3 pick. I actually think that's a good move. Quentin Nelson is the best guard in football. Obviously, for fans that don't know football really well, you know him. I mean, he's an unbelievable stud.
Mm-hmm.
And then they could have gotten Nick Chubb with the second round pick. They got, with Will Hernandez. Obviously, yes, I know the draft, it's crazy, but hey, I mean, it's something to look back on. The Giants have drafted really poorly these last couple of years. It's really affected them. And as an Eagles fan, we know the pain. We know the pain of drafting poorly.
No, I mean, I think that backup running back, Booker, he's not a bad running back at all. They signed Galladay this past offseason. He's a good wide receiver. So if somehow they're able to trade, Jones and Barkley and, draft some good guys, they could put together a nice little team that's young, and they have to make a lot of moves this offseason.
Yeah, I think I mean, at the end of the day, the Giants will always be a very relevant team in football. So they're not like the Jaguars that can be bad for the Jaguars could be bad for 30 years and no one would care. Like same thing with Detroit.
No one would miss them.
Yeah, like no one would even take a second look at it. But like when it comes to like teams
there's no denying that.
Yeah, like when it comes to there's zero denying that. When it comes to teams like the Giants and the Jets and like the Eagles and the Cowboys and just these big name teams now, like the Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders, they're a huge market team now. Like the Rams, they're huge teams. So when they struggle, I mean, you're going to hear about it. It's going to happen. They'll go over it. Like they'll always have multiple primetime games because they are New York teams. And that's why people always talk about how bad the Jets are and how much they've struggled, which they have. But like there's so many teams in the NFL that have been as bad as them for the last couple decades. The Jaguars, the Houston Texans, they've been terrible. But no one talks about them because they're not a high market team. So yeah, the Giants need to come in. They need to bring in a new team. I think it's a shame what's happened with Daniel Jones. He's just had horrible coaches and horrible offensive coordinators. So I think that's what's a big struggle. I think he's got a lot of talent. I think if he can find the right team, maybe go to Denver or something.
Would you bring him to Philly?
I would love Daniel Jones in Philly, 1,000%. I'm a huge Daniel Jones guy. I'm a huge believer in him. I will say it.
You would take Daniel Jones over Jalen Hurts?
Yes, 1,000%. I wouldn't even think about it.
But you wouldn't take Geno Smith over Jalen Hurts?
No.
Geno Smith is better than Daniel Jones.
I don't think so. I think when it comes to talent wise, like Daniel Jones is a 6'5" quarterback that is actually like as fast as Lamar Jackson. I know it's crazy, but like it's recorded like he's run over 25.
I wouldn't say he's as fast as Lamar Jackson, but
consistently, like in like open field, he is a threat in the he's a threat.
He can run. Yeah, definitely.
I think he's got a solid arm, and I think he's got a lot of potential. He's still very young. He's still like only 20, 23, 24 years old. I'm just saying.
All right. Hey, maybe the Giants will call you up for the position.
No, I mean, I'm just saying he's had a really, really, really bad offensive line and really bad coaches throughout his career. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I think if he can get another shot like Darnold did, like with another team that's a little bit better, I think he would thrive.
Yeah, new environment and get some different guys around him and see if he can excel. But yeah, we're wrapping up. We got like a minute left.
We got to get a quarterback list. I want to for next episode. I want to come out and I want to say what, in your opinion, we'll go over all the NFL quarterbacks. What quarterbacks do you think will can win a Super Bowl in their career?
That's a perfect segment. We'll do that.
Yeah, I'm big on that. People have been asking. They always tell me. I know we got a minute left. I'll be quick. Tell me who I think is a really good quarterback. That's how I'll defy the list by that.
Yeah. No, and then for all you people that were talking about the Sixers not doing well for so long, Embiid was out with COVID. He's back. He's healthy. He dropped 42 points last night. Get ready because you're just going to watch the Sixers climb up the standings now. Maxey's a stud.
Tyrese Maxey's a stud.
I'm
wrong.
We only got 40 seconds left, but I can't believe you. We're starting that off with this with our next show. But
I'm not wrong all the time. All right, I'm not always wrong. I was wrong there. All right.
All right. Thanks again. Great work tonight.
Hey, even though we
The Eagles stink.
But go Birds, no matter what.
As
Baby.
always, go Birds. We'll
Go Birds.
always root for our birds. All right.
Yeah.
Good episode.